Just the last few lines of Chatzer Strauss Beis. Omer Rabbi Chama b'Rabbi Chanina. Lama nisbucha oyalim v'necholim. We find the Torah places the concept of the oil, the tent, next to the concept of the nachal, a spring. See, the pasuk says, "Kinecholim nitoyu, ki ganois alei hanar, ki oilim nota Hashem." Like the necholim, like the springs, the springs in the ganois by the river. So too the olim are also notar, are also pitched. So what do we learn from there? We know that the spring, that a body of water is able to be mailas on a mituma, can totally change a person. A person goes in, he's tamei, he comes out, he's tar. So we say here also, now, it's something that's not halachic, we can't see it, but oilim also is maila adam mikav choiva lekav zchus, also changes the person. What's the oilim? So Rashi, the Beis Medrash, the bottom Midrashis, that if a person will immerse himself in the Beis Medrash, in Torah, he'll be maile mikav choiv lekav zchus. Zoktim arvaiter hakolim afer lo yotza. So again, you have to always read Krishma in order. You cannot read psukim, you can't skip and then go back to different pasuk. You can't read out of order. Rabbi Ami v'Ravasi have a kakatrin legnona the blazer. They were preparing. They were tying. Katrin, Rashi says they're tying the chuppah. Yeah, he's about to get married. They're at the chasana, and they're preparing the chuppah. Tying the chuppah for blazer. In the meantime, these guys, until my chuppah is ready. In the meantime, Ezel ve'ishma milsa. So he says, you know what? There's time to the chuppah. I might as well take advantage. So I'm going to go here a shiur. So what does he do? The Beit Midrash. I'll go to the Beis Medrash. And he goes, and also Ashkechai the Tana, the Ketani Kamed Rabbi Yechanan. He went, and he sees they're saying a Tana in front of Yechanan, and it says as follows: Kara v'Toya. In Yudei Yechanan, Toya. Reading Kriya Shema, middle reading Kriya Shema, and I wake up in the middle. I say, I don't know where I made a mistake. I don't know where. I made some mistake. I know I said something wrong here. So what do? So he says, just the Bach correct something. Yachzir the Rosh. Go back to the beginning. Now, if Bemsa Perek Yachzir the Rosh. If he's in the middle, just go back to the beginning. When Perek the Perek Yachzir the Perek Rishon. Now, if you know that you got a mistake, you got lost somewhere in between a perek, but again, go back to the first perek because you missed it. Okay, that's clear. In other words, basically the concept is very simple, that Kriya Shema is deraisa. So if you miss something deraisa, let's go back and say it. So that happens. Right? You say Kriya Shema, you make a mistake. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Ksiva the ksiva. What does it mean between ksiva and ksiva? So ksiva means that uchsaftam. I'm middle saying uchsaftam. It says uchsaftam in the first parsha, v'hafta. It also says uchsaftam in the second parsha. So I don't know. I get confused. Right? Uchsaftam, no, you say right? I don't know. Where am I? Exactly where am I holding? Got confused. Spaced out. So what do? Yachzuk ksiva. We should again the same rule. Since you don't know, you just go back and say the first one. it's a different interpretation of what he's saying here. I'll say the most simple shot that fits into what we're saying, and that is, Rabbi Yechon says, well, if you're reading, and this halacha says this also, this is the halacha, if you're reading Saftam, and you're not sure where you are, but you know you chapped yourself, you're kind of on automatic sometimes, and then you continued, and you said, L'man Yibu Yimechem, right, the second Uchsaftam, in the Vayim Shamoya, so then I know that I'm at the end. That's a raya. And the fact that that was your automatic continuation, it would seem that you weren't paying attention, but your brain knows where you are, and you're at the end. So he said, and so he went back, and this is, remember the story. Rabbi Elazar went back, and he told them, he went back to the chuppah, and he said, "Wow, it was kedai, it was good, it was very smart. You see from here, don't waste your time, and if you have extra time, go to the Beis Medrash and see what you can learn." He said, it was kedai just to come to hear that. Okay, Rabbi, so we're at a new Mishnah. We're on Tazayin, I'm at Aleph with the Mishnah. Okay, this is not so complicated, just pay attention, we're going to learn the Mishnah. And this is important halachas about kavanah during Kriya Shema. And the Mishnah goes as follows: Ha'umdim kayim b'reisha ilan b'reisha nidbach. Masha ein rishayin lasos kem b'tfilah. Halacha is as follows: a person, used to be that the workers, when they had to work, they had to get up very early in the morning. That was the time to work, and they would get up and they'd start working, and it's too early to say Kriya Shema. So they're up doing their work. And the halacha is, even on the top of the tree, they're allowed to say Kriya Shema. We're going to see what that's about. So there's really 2 points involved. One is that when a person is working for somebody else, he is meshubed. There's no concept of, if I want to say Kriya Shema, I don't have to work. No. If you're meshubed to work, so you got to work. But you can stop for the 2-3 minutes it takes to say Kriya Shema. If a film is deraisa. But you have to do that where you're working. So the other chiddush is that even though you have to have kavanah for Kriya Shema l'chayra, you're allowed to do this. Now we have to understand how that works. Where's the kavanah? What are you doing? You're working, you're focusing on Kriya Shema, what's going on? As opposed to tefillah, you cannot do this. Tefillah, you're oimid from Hashem, and tefillah, you must come down from the tree. Masha ein kein rishoyin lasos kem b'tefillah. Okay, the Gemara will explain this part of the Mishnah. The Mishnah continues, Chosin. We had this Gemara previously, really. Potter mikriya shema. A chosin, we said, oisik b'mitzvah, potter min mitzvah. Right? One of the ways the Torah works is, each mitzvah is a world in its own. When I'm doing a mitzvah, I can't be thinking about other mitzvahs. That's not how it works. So a chosin is completely involved in his mitzvah. And it's Torah. The Gemara said before, we learned it was Torah, the mitzvah, we'll see again. So he's potter from Kriya Shema, Le'ad Rishayna. I don't know, Shabbos. In other words, as long as he's still in the status of chosan, he has to fulfill the mitzvah. So he's potter. Im lo asa ma'isa. U'ma'isa ben Gamliel. In fact, Gamliel nasa isha. Gamliel got married. Seems like maybe we'll see. Maybe from the story. I don't know if this is his first wife or second wife, but he got married. V'kor alai l'rishayna. No, it's what it was a psula. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference as long as she's a psula. It's a chasen's potter from Kriya Shema by psula, and he read Kriya Shema. Didn't you teach us? You taught us, Rabbi. Shechasen potter by Kriya Shema. So what are you doing? You're potter. It's true, but I'm potter. Maybe I'm not really fulfilling the mitzvah if I'm potter. I have no obligation, but I cannot not be mekabel ol malchus shamayim. It's not possible for me. I need to be mekabel ol malchus shamayim, and obviously he was capable of doing it, even though he was a Torah of the mitzvah. So we'll see how that works. Can a person say, well, I know you don't really need to say Kriya Shema, but I'd like to say Kriya Shema. We'll see how that works, okay? Okay, Rabbi said, we're going to clarify, this is important halacha in having kavanah in Kriya Shema. Tana Baran. Like we said in the Mishnah, now, Mispalim cannot do that. If you're on a tree, you must come down to daven Shemona Esrei. You can't just daven Shemona Esrei. You have to be Oimid Ifnei Hashem Shemona Esrei. Right? So the Gemara, but Mispalim Bereisha Zayis, so the Brisa. You put now an olive tree is a little bit different. Rosh Teina is a little different, right? Right. That's what we're learning now. Teina and Zayis and Bab Mitzia. But so there's a little difference in the trees. Is in fact these trees are easier to daven on. They're Rashi says there's a lot of branches. You know, we have an olive tree out here. You look at the olive tree. It's not like you're climbing a tree. It's like it's a whole big thing. You just sit on top of it. It's not such a big deal. There's a lot of support on the tree, and therefore you can even say Shemona Esrei on it. Just technically, it doesn't make it impossible. Otherwise, if it's a big, normal, tall tree, you have this. Obviously, it's this palm tree here. Obviously, you cannot say Shemona Esrei that. You must come down. So the Gemara. Sorry, another halacha in the Brisa. I'm sorry, we're still in the Brisa. Ubalabayis, now, if you're the boss, these are your trees and your workers, so then you need to come down. In other words, the only reason why the workers are permitted to say Kriya Shema on the fig tree is because they're obligated in their work. Frankly, Gemara. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Rami lei Rab Meri Brei Tavashmul. So Rab Meri Brei Tavashmul, that's his name. He has the kasha, the Ravid. He has the following contradiction. I say, okay, hear this contradiction. Tanan. Okay, we said in our Mishnah, the Umnin can say Kriya Shema. Now, the assumption is, okay, the guy's up on top of the tree, chopping wood or whatever he's doing. He's busy schwitzing away on top of the tree. So Amma Loboy Kavanah. So you see that he doesn't need Kavanah. Right? Didn't we learn that you have to have kavanah, you have to be fully focused on the words you're saying when you read Kriya Shema? Allah L'maisa, yeah? In fact, it says Haskes Shema Yisrael, Malan Bahaskim, Haskes Avkam Haskes. It says you have to be focused. What's going on? Ishtik. Bam Kasha. Not a word. Did you hear something? How did you learn this? Now we give an answer. That which it says that you can say Kriya Shema on the tree. Of course, not while you're working. You have to stop. Put down whatever you're doing. Stop. Concentrate. Say Kriya Shema. It's not a stira. Of course, you have to say Kriya Shema with kavanah. Vatanya, I think this is a raya, mistaken. Vatanya, I'm sorry, that's the kasha. Vatanya, Visula Oimrim, Oiskim Malachta Vikorin, says Fakert. Says that they actually, they're sitting away chopping the wood and this, cutting with the machine, whatever, and he's saying Kriya Shema. So what he's saying? So he says that depends. So the first parak, Shema Yisrael, just to see what it means, you have to know what it means. Which is which parak? But Rashi learns parak Rishon means Shema Yisrael, Shema Boika, Parsha Shema Boika. It actually sounds like Vahafta also. Part Parsha Shema. That needs kavanah. Rav said, now Tosis quotes here, Rav Amar La'el, Pasuk Rishon Levad. Perek Rishon, he's Lav Dafke, it means Pasuk Rishon. That's a halacha l'maisa. Shema Yisrael, Baruch Shein Kavod Malchusai, requires kavanah. You have to focus on what you're saying in every word in order to be Yitzeh. If you're not, you need to say it again. V'hafta, it's good to have kavanah, but the halacha does not require kavanah in the rest of Shema. It requires saying the words properly, but Does not require kapara. Okay, in this based on this Gemara, that's what we come out Allah Chalamaysa based on this Gemara. So to Gemara Vayter, Rabbi say a little more. We say as follows. Again, here we're going to discuss again. The other concept here is again when a person has a job and he's meshubed, so a person has to be fully honest and meshubed to his job, and that means doing whatever is expected in the job, whatever is agreed upon and expected. And it means a worker is normally expected to work the whole time. So now, they say Kriya Shema, yes, because it's understood that you're a Jew, and I'm going to allow you to say Kriya Shema. That's obviously, you can say Kriya Shema, you can Birkas Kriya Shema, no problem. That's clear. Now, furthermore, Oichlin Piton, they need to eat, so they have a lunch break. Now, it's not only that, according to this, they're allowed to also bench. They're obligated. Chiv deraisa. Or also moitzi, umispal and tefillah sheshmona esrei. That's all within what's permissible. Zok the Gemara, aval, sorry, the Brisa, aval ein yordiv ne'ateva ve'ein noisin campaign. Now, but there's no davening for the Amud. It seems like that would mean there's no chazos shots. Ve'ein noisin campaign. There's no duchenin. And because those are extra, that's you can do without that. Vatanya me'ein yudches. Now, one second. Here it says that there's davening shmona esrei, but then we learn in the Brisa that they don't daven shmona esrei. They can say what's called an abridged version of shmona esrei. Me'ein yudches, right? Rashi says. He says, Main Shresrei, Havinenu. Right? You say the first part of the brachos, then you say you put all the brachos, all the middle brachos into one bracha. A very quick version of Shresrei. Rav Sheshes is like Kashyap. So that depends. That's what we're going to be Yeshua. This is a machlekes. This is a daily machlekes between Rabbi and Yeshua. Igram Yeshua. So then, Yeshua says that's always what you can do. You can always choose that. So if it's Rabbi Yeshua, why pile him? If you call them, Nami. Gamliel says normally you should say as we do, say a proper Shemona Esrei, Lakashya. So there we have a different solution. Now we're going to see now we differentiate on the arrangement of the pilim. So kan ba'oisim b'schon, kan ba'oisim b'sudasan. So there's what's called like what we would call maybe in our terminology minimum wage, and higher pay salary. So if they're oisin, they're getting full pay, scharan, they get paid for everything they do, so then they have no right to stop. What's beyond minimal? I mean, yes, they're obligated Shemona Esrei, say me'ein. When they're getting paid minimal, so this is like the basic, what they just basic, so it's understood that they're entitled to less work a little bit. Kind of oisin b'sudasan. And this is Vatanya, I think this is a support. Vatanya, in fact, we said, Apoilim, Sha'oisim Melacha, Eitzel Balabais, Kain Kriya Shema, Mispalim, Va'ichlin Piton. So the Poilim, Sha'oisim Melacha, with the Balabais, are, yes, Kriya Shema, Mispalim, Va'ichlin Piton, and Mevorcha Lefnei. Here it says, not only that, Ein Mevorcha Lefnei. There's no time, don't make Hamoitzi. It's only the Rabbanan. You don't have to do that. Mevorcha Lachrea. Stein, you can do minimal, what you need to do, midiraisa. Birkas Hamazon, deraisa. You have to say two brachas. Ketzet, bracha Rishayna, this is again, Birkas Hamazon. Ketikuna, say it properly. The second bracha, you make already a combination, Pasech with Birkas Haaretz, Al Haaretz, and you put it together, Al Haaretz Ubonei Yerushalayim or something. You put it somehow together. Birkas Haaretz. So here's the raya, Rabbi Isai. Here's the raya to the distinction that we made. That's when they get paid wages. So then they have no free time. You have to take it every second. But if they're getting what we call again minimum wage, they don't really get paid. They say they get paid is you're gonna get lunch. You get lunch. If the or the balabais is Meisiv Imoyin. So when he's with them, so then it's already, that shows already that he's, it's a little more, it's more informal, and I guess they can make the brachas, just like he needs to, so he's eating with them, so he's showing them that's okay. Babais is eating with them, then you make all the brachas properly. So that's the difference also between what we said before, whether or not you say also full Shemona Esrei or shortened version. Okay.